talk about Peterbot and Boyo. So they managed to secure Squall by a single point. And what's crazy, Kelly, is their kind of playstyle were explosive games, right? We had a few games along the way that weren't so great, but then they had just a handful of really standout games that like helped them secure that second place.
So Veno left to play by himself. He rotates to the front. Peterbot, Boyo, though, no pressure here on their layer. They've invested a lot of metal, so they're sitting super comfortable here. And now it's up to them, right? They have a lot of optionality here.
Yeah, and seeing Clix as a solo right now. We saw Higgs clutch up a big performance in that last game. We've seen in years past Clix being kind of the solo clutcher of his team. He's going to have to channel that here. Top 13 placement points already starting to set in, as it does look like Vert and Taki are just going to try to hold on to their high ground as long as possible. They use the launch pad. They invested early, and they're just hoping it's worth it, but they have to be careful. Peterbot and Poyo, same thing, just a little bit later. You even have Kanata and Curve in the sky, the winners of game one, just trying to float down and dodge a lot of the chaos that is underneath. You see Veno is currently going through it as a solo, 13 builds, and he's running out fast.
My face is just lighting up. No one realizes who's up top. We'll see what happens, but Clix is just holding on to dear life. We saw Higgs do it in Clix, clutch up for his team and maintain hold position here inside that top 5. Meanwhile, Veno is doing just fine as he is finding eliminations down on the mid layers, and he still hasn't opted to jump ultimate low.
Now with how long Peter, Poyo, Kanata, Curve are on the high ground, it's a new team up above though. It's Agers, it's Ritual, and they're just trying to go ahead and put pressure down onto Curve and Kanata. They're the second hype. They know they are the biggest threats, but surprise from the backside of the zone. Up comes Peter, up comes Poyo, and they've solidified the high ground. They forced Agers and Ritual down. They've landed too much damage for them to hold on to it.
Keeping it very interesting for us. Coming into this, they had 27 points, but now's the furthest we see them. Bugha and King, once again, what a piece of height. They are just keeping things interesting for us here on the broadcast here and now, but Peterbot, Boyo have much more to worry about. Kanata and Curve, who we've seen play very well so far, right? The momentum is there for them, but so it has been for Bugha and King, who had that second place. Will they be able to secure the win now?
Yeah, this is where it gets into how many builds have you expended up until this point. You see that they're running out, but the blessing is we're going back where we came from for the most part, over old builds where you can recycle, but Yamzo trying to heal up. Josh goes down. He's stuck as a solo. We have two different solos. Make it three as another one gets separated from his duos. Yamzo goes in. He ends the run of Noxie and Mason. Those were one of the eliminations we saw not too long ago. Quickly picks up the crash pad, and you see him going further and further out of zone. There's too many builds. It won't be a safe crash pad if he tries to make the play. Peterbot and Poyo trying to make an unsafe rotation of possibility here as they take down Curly.
Yeah, this is just a crazy endgame right now. It's going back and forth. Everyone we're jumping in with barely has materials to make plays here, but Bugha still has to defend the high ground with King here. Into the box he goes, but the tracking wasn't quite there. It's Kanata and Curve who come out ahead here. 4 eliminations now. They're looking to go back-to-back. Peterbot, Boyo at 5 here. No mats to really work with, and there's still so much threat, danger just lurking everywhere here, Jacob.
Yeah, crazy how it was Peter Poyo with the surprise attack for the backside of zone that started all those high ground takes, and they're the one controlling that ultimate low ground. An elimination that they're stealing away the loot from. Another one on the Sphinx. He drops him into his box. That's their 6th elimination of this game. Jay's still running wild as a solo. Big elimination onto Yamzo to end their run. We got 4 teams left in this game. 2 solos and 2 duos still alive. Muzz being one of them with only 3 HP.
Boyo, Peterbot's on the low ground. Muzz got to pick his poison here shortly. Peterbot, Boyo go up to the top. They take them both out with a swift slash there. And all of a sudden now, it's just solos remaining. Boyo's in the box. He hits the shot. He goes down. Peterbot's got this player all locked up. And Jace is going to fall in the end. And a 9 elim win there, Jacob. What a game for the boys.
Especially if you don't have the shockwaves to break through the builds. Crash pads are nice, but shockwaves is like a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, definitely. What's interesting about this endgame is that we're actually coming back to the home territory of Peterbot, Boyo, of Clix and Higgs, right? This is their general drop location here. And as we know, when you get this much favor, I mean, usually goes very well for you. You know, Boyo and Peterbot are kind of out of the race right now, but one massive pop-off here, and they'll be right back in that conversation. Meanwhile, look at Veno and Reed just playing so smart in a full team elimination there. Couldn't have been timed better for them. They snipe up a quick 2 and just once again continuing to play very well, finding what looks like highlight after highlight, to be honest. It's just impressive.
Yeah, They're basically going toe-to-toe with Jason Jargu on that leaderboard for 5th and 6th place. As the zone pulls forward again, staying near Slurpy Swamp, so if there's any barrels left over, you see players just kind of utilizing those right away. Going a little bit towards the north, Jargu and Jace, just talked about them, 203 points. The only things they've gotten right now is the placement points, 2 teams worth. It starts at top 15 and slowly but surely cascades in from there, but then you get the bonus points kind of in top 3, in top 2, and very especially in top 1. You talked about this going over the Slurpy Swamp, familiar territory. Peterbot and Poyo finally bringing out that launch pad to just dodge everything down below.
We saw Veno kind of see what happened there too, went back, picked up that material. I was going to say they have the chance now to focus the high ground, and they end up doing that. They turn back, they find Boyo. They are well timed for them, but not exactly solidifying the full elimination, but they are going to secure high ground here. Veno repositions up, and who knows better than to play this than him. Obviously the champion himself here holding up the high ground now. This is the first we've seen of them, but Curve and Kanata go up with that super launch pad as well. Another breakthrough there from Cold, I think, to try and take down High. And Muzz wants a piece of this, and Muzz is actually a solo here now.
Yeah, this is necessary for Muzz to use that launch pad, the Flowberry Fizz, because now in some cases he might be out of render distance, but as time goes on, he's getting closer and closer to the eyes. Peterbot and Poyo still looking like they're trying to clash with Veno and Breton. They find success, they take away the high ground, they send them down below. Muzz a little bit too close to comfort for that team on height, forced to nosedive down to try to live to fight another day, and this is very, very important. Muzz stays alive here. He builds himself a cushion in that first place spot, but if he goes down in 13th place, in 12th place, he's giving everybody a shot.
Yeah, well, look, he's doing a great job here. He's got plenty of mats to work with, too. And on the bottom, Higgs once again finds himself in a solo position. Clix and Higgs are struggling to find their way together into the end game and make something work. But each of them have clutched up time and time again. Well, we're asking for a lot now from Muzz, and we're asking for even more from Higgs if he wants to stay in the race.
You see Muzz taking his time. He had the Slurp Juice, Crash Pad, using the Flowberry Fizz to cover distance all the way to the other side where the zone is opening up. Slurp Juice still intact, so he's going to get HP up as well. Higgs saving the med kits, which is huge. Trying to utilize somebody else's med miss smoke, but it's just cut a little bit too short. And there's one build left. This is where he has to be careful. Tries to go for a 180, one pump, but he gets flanked from behind, taken down outside of top 10 yet again.
And Muzz is right there behind that action, almost watching it all play out. He doesn't even make a move there. Instead, he just buys his time here. 11 duos remaining here in the game. Muzz is almost closing in on side of top 10. Meanwhile, Curve is also alive by himself. And no, someone jumps in the box, and it's Action. Curve manages to clutch up for himself here, making it a top 10. And again, if you're any of this solos, you are happy to watch teams fall here and now, but it's up to Muzz to clutch. No, down he goes to the hands of Reeds.
Yeah, so the cushion finally started to end here, but for Curve, this is everything. Josh Niamzo already went down. This is a chance to put yourself inside of that bubble in qualification range. Uncontested this time around. Cold and Rapid, they've been after fight, again, playing patient from the 7th zone onward. Curve finally goes down, so his run to the top of the leaderboard getting cut a little bit short here, but did he get enough points is the big question.
Well, Dozier and Eshu make their first end game big time here and now as far as trying to earn themselves placement points, but Cold and Rapid, look at the points starting to rack up here. 7 elims as well. They're doing so much. Into the box they go, but no! They get folded quickly, and there's no time for them to react. Eshu, Dozer, the surprise team from down low, and look at this. Boyo and Peterbot are just trying to take the easy road out, letting the low ground teams do what they do. So uncharacteristic of them to just try to not really involve themselves in the action until the timing is perfect. It's almost like they just want a textbook game to close things out here.
Yeah, I think they realize where they're at on the leaderboard, and if they want to give themselves a shot going into game 7 and 8, they have to end up with a win here. But Cooper, one and only solo left in this game. He's the meat in the middle. Dozier, Ishu are the ones down below, but Peterbot finally dropping to cause a little bit of chaos. He goes after Cooper first. That's the solo and a possible 3 more points, but he shockwaves out up into the direction of Poyo, where he's launching grenades down from above. They're going to be able to connect, cause chaos. Peterbot cleans up the elimination, but on to height they go. Ishu trying to target out Poyo, but he shockwaves up again, finally falling down. He gets the elimination there. 2v1 situation, and it's never looked easier for Peterbot and Poyo to secure that game win. We're itching for the next game. Players are itching for the next game, and everybody at home needs to see what is going down. But out of nowhere, Peterbot with the down onto Curly across the map from his drop spot. Peterbot is doing Peterbot things. He's going after first place. Teams really play a passive game plan, and this is where we're seeing Acorn trying to stay alive. Poyo, or say Peterbot and Poyo taking turns. Just getting Elim after Elim after Elim. Any opposition in any box-to-box scenario is Peterbot and Poyo. They've fought every single big team throughout the course of this tournament so far, and multiple times that led to them getting the high ground like this. But those are an issue. They're flying by for a short moment, landing good damage onto Poyo, making him hide and heal up. That means Peterbot's going to be the only one trying to pressure the lobby.
Yeah, definitely, and unfortunately, Clicks also fell there just in 15th, so the momentum being stopped here. We're going to need to see two big games if they want to qual now. Jason Jarg will have a chance here to just really widen the gap and push themselves away from the competition. They've almost seemingly came out of nowhere on the tournament day here. They've played exceptionally well. But Poyo and Peterbot are controlling the high ground. This time, different than the last round, they are being a little bit more active, a lot closer to the enemy territory, and also just putting in those shots. You can hear it continuing to fire away.
I think Cold knows, especially along with Rapid, you know, playing a year with Peterbot, you know, he tries to put matters into his own hands, control his own fate. If he's going to win or lose, it's going to be by something he did, not something he didn't do. And I think they're kind of gearing up, Cold and Rapid, to do the same thing. They get very good damage onto Muzz and Sphinx, and they look forward. A bunch of other teams have already beaten them on this rotation, including Josh and Yamzo, Jace, Jargu. They get to the front side of the zone, but really none of that matters because we saw it in the last game. Peterbot and Poyo, if nobody looks up at them, they will smoothly sail across that finish line.
Yeah, definitely. Muzz and Sphinx here in the end game once again, keeping us on our toes here. Muzz is just back with the vengeance. Well played for him as he finds a nice little cheeky elimination underneath the brush of the tree there. Up he goes. The tracking's looking well off to the next layer, but no, it's danger up here too. And it's not looking good as he's lost Sphinx now. Down, trying to play for the reboot here. Sphinx dropped the mats here. Super important for him to do that, but no, spotted out now in the move. Still well inside the top 12. Can he buy himself a little bit more time is the real question.
Yeah, more than half of the points still left on the board in terms of placement. He's going to have to buy more than just a few seconds here as he tries to use the med miss smoke and gets peeked on by Curve. Curve is also in the hunt. So that's not only elimination points, that's placement points as well. Solo clutches are coming out of the woodworks here. Over 5 players running around as of now as solos. Curve being one of them, trying to wait to the last possible moment to rotate on out. He has that low grab effect thanks to the Flowberry Fizz, but now he's fresh out of that as well and builds. So things continue to get worse for Curve. He's going to need a miracle here in order to survive.
Yeah, you can argue he needed it way more than Muzz here as he's just on the heels of the top 3 now. 2 Elims for him, still holding down the fort here. 9th place, Cold and Rapid. Controlling the low ground at the moment, moving around. Peterbot and Poyo just haven't stopped the pressure here. They're really making it difficult for everyone else now. And if you're on the ultimate low, you're kind of hanging out here for a second, but you're getting pushed right into the hands of Cold, and Cold is just cooking right now. He hasn't missed a single shot down low, and that's another Elim for them now. And take a look at this. A box-to-box against Yamzo and Josh here, who are also inside the end game. All of our big players are still in the mix.
Yeah, this is a moment that Josh and Yamzo needed after going down early, not getting very many points in that last game. But our final 4 teams, said loosely, because Osid is the only solo left, looking to the backside of the zone. He has 9 builds left, but he has to be very, very careful how he plays this. They can instantly burn through the builds, but they're distracted. Josh and Yamzo try to jump onto Cold and Rapid, but it doesn't work out necessarily. They continue to trade elimination for elimination. Josh, there's no time for him to get the siphon. He has to shockwave to the front. He finds his position up above. The eliminations come through, but there's still Peterbot and Poyo up above. You almost forget how easy they make it look.
And down they come now to kind of seal the deal here off to the side. I mean, just look at the eliminations, trying to work their way to a 17 bomb, but they get 16 either way. Talk about a monster game there, Jacob, for the back-to-back. Well, Yamzo goes down, and this is everyone else's opportunity now to take home the positioning spots here for LAN. All of those players that were so close, yet so far now, when you start looking at the points, are just sitting on an opportunity here and now. There's still over 10 teams remaining right now make that 10 flat here. Jason, Jargo have a chance to qual. In they go with the shockwave, but they gotta stick together. Jace kind of choking a little bit here, finds Clicks right above him, but no, doesn't go for the fight. Instead, just wants to stay alive, and look at the pressure starting to take over here. This is close.
How scary that looked in that moment. They really didn't take any damage at all, and they reposition in front. And up above, this is the scariest thing. We thought we saw back-to-back wins by Peterbot and Poyo, and the pressure they put out. It is going to get worse. They have the mythic rifle, but Jason Jargu, they're fighting for the Esports World Cup Finals slot. There's only 2 up for grabs here, and they want one of them. Down 40+ points going into this game. Their opposition atop of the leaderboard. Muds and Sphinx going down. Josh eliminated. Yamzo left by himself. If you had any shot, this is going to be the one you have to take.
And Cold is still in this game. He's just by himself, so he needs to fall as well. Otherwise, you'll be soaking up those points that are so important. And do remember, Clicks and Higgs need a win plus some, as they are still alive in the low ground too. So let's see who can actually pull through. Jace is still in the mix. Cold is putting pressure down from the low ground side here, and this is getting closer and closer here. Now Jace jumps in, one of the most important elims right there. He finds one, and the Siphon, now the mats, another shockwave too, and he is still going. No more Jargle though. This is another very important fight here for him.
Yeah, if you're Jace, this is your time to shine. We had everybody asking questions. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? What is his history? None of that matters now, because you get to start your destiny. He has to try to drop down low. There's a lot of pressure for Peterbot up above. He dodges that first elimination, sliding, trying to get in. He gets cut short. 6th place is where he will end. Will it be enough to qualify for EWC? Who knows? But Peterbot and Poyo have finally dropped down. They're ready to go on a tear. Down goes Noah Plays. Bolts is now in their line of sight. This could be a back-to-back-to-back win for Peterbot and Poyo.
And also potential first place spot for that big prizing money. There goes Clicks falling there in the end. Poyo now has got his line of sights on Osen and Scare, who are also so close to qualifying. Look at them, 274 points. What can they do? It would take a devastating mistake here from Peterbot to give them a chance, but no, he finds one. He's looking for the second, and can he get it? Of course he can, and there it is. 400+ points in the end there, Jacob.
These games are just crazy, especially we're watching a fight for first place while simultaneously watching the fight for the bubble. Peterbot and Poyo get the hat trick. They get back-to-back wins, but
No shot. We just allowed this to happen. Peterbot and Poyo winning half of the games in qualifier 2 finals.